Hey, Weaver Snappers, it's Tortimer the Grey. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Pokemon Showdown Grey Version Season 3. This week we are kicking off, the Elite Four. We rolled the Fairy type for our first Uber's Elite Four battle, and I decided to try something a little different. I've been playing around with the Trick Room team mechanic in OU, and I had thoughts initially about potentially bringing that into Ubers. I'm like, well, I think I've done the Trick Room thing. I think we've played that at this point, but I wanted to try. I've never really done a lot of team theme kind of building, and so I decided I was like trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and then I decided on, you know what, let's try a sun team, and so that's what I attempted to do because I know that Fairy is resisted by fire, and so I thought, well, that's good. Okay, so we got fire types. Let's get a fire type on the team, things like that, and then that kind of built into this sun team thing that I tried. Obviously, I think Groudon is the only drought user in anywhere near Ubers. I thought about throwing Torkoal on the team, but I think he's like PU or something. I was like, yeah, maybe not. But yeah, so we've got Glinda, we've got Dandelion, the Cinderace, we've got Behemoth, the Groudon, we've got Orcrist, the Venusaur, we've got Mothra, the Volcarona, and then we've got Aslan, the Solgaleo. So, I don't think any returning faces this week. I think it was Glinda and then a whole new team. I felt like trying something new. As I'm building a team, there's a lot of steel types. Like, looking at the Uber list, there's a lot of steel types, but there's also just like a ton of dragon types. So like everything I'm thinking about using is like also a dragon type. So well, it's the fairy Elite Four. I'm not doing that. But here we are as Orcrist, our speedy little frog, outspeeds the Xerneas and takes down Elite Four Acolyte. I think that's. I was rewatching previous seasons, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but we were referring to the trainers underneath an Elite Four member as acolytes in that one. So Elite Four Acolyte Codeman goes down, and we claim our first victory of the week. So thank you so much for participating this week, Codeman. I greatly appreciate it. Let's jump into the next battle, and we'll talk a little bit more about why I was reviewing previous season's Elite Four battles. Here we go. Alrighty guys, here we are up against Elite Four Acolyte Pocket Flygon. So yes, I was reviewing previous weeks because it got brought up in the Discord, or I remembered myself at some point, and then I had to confirm what we did in previous seasons, that obviously usually in the Elite Four, you would be stuck with a given team. You know, you don't get access to changing your team around in most Elite Fours. Now, that has changed in recent years. If we were working on the Gen 8 meta, during the championship tournament and in Let's Go during the Elite Four, you were capable of access, because now you can access your PC from the bag, and so or from the menu or wherever, and so now you actually can. Apparently in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl you cannot, but in Sword and Shield and in Let's Go you're capable of accessing your Pokemon bag, your PC from your bag. And so I built a team to combat the Fairy Gym this week, and I've done that in each of the subsequent 2 seasons. I built a team to combat the first type and then realized, oh, I'm going to be stuck with this team, and so then I made a switch in week 2. I think in both seasons I made a switch in week 2 that then I carried through the rest of the Elite Four. But we put a poll in the Discord, like, what should Tort do? Is he stuck with this team? And most of you guys hadn't seen the team yet at that point. I think I'd only done the Codeman battle at that point when this discussion was happening. So I was like, is Tort stuck with this team? Does he make a new team next week and is stuck with that? Or because now it's a mechanic in Pokemon that you can access your PC from your menu, can Tort just make teams every week? And so the voting on that will be revealed in the next battle. Thank you so much for participating this week, Acolyte Flygon. I greatly appreciate it. First loss of the week, so we're 1 for 1. Fantastic. Let's move into the next battle, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty, and here we are up against Elite Four Acolyte Scad. And so, yes, so we did that poll. Option 1, Tort stuck with this team now, and you guys hadn't seen the team yet, so you didn't even really know what you were voting on. I think only Codeman had seen the team at that point. So option 1, stuck with this team. Option 2, build a team for a more balanced, just overall team for next week. Get stuck with that. Or 3, hey, it's a mechanic in Gen 8 that you can access your your PC from your box, even within the championship tournament and or the Elite Four with Let's Go. So those were the 3 options. I think we had 2 votes for option 2, or no, 2 votes for option 1, stuck with this team. But then we ended up with like 4 or 5 votes for option 3, which was Tork gets to do whatever he wants, which is fantastic. So that's what the plan is going to be going forward. There was some talk of roll all the types and build a team that you think will balance all those and things like that, and that's fine. But given that is an actual mechanic in Pokemon right now, we're just going to kind of continue on as we've been doing, and I will just build teams to meet the needs of each week, just because that's kind of what Pokemon is now, apparently. So that's what we're doing, and we're doing the the Dynamax and stuff when applicable and things like that. I guess we'll see when we roll this coming week. Well, not this coming week's, but this next episode's battles. We'll talk about that more when we get to the spreadsheet too. But if we get doubles again, then that means Dynamax and Gigantamaxing's back on the table, sort of thing. So we are technically speaking using Gen 8 mechanics, and so we'll be using that Gen 8 mechanic too. Tort will be getting to build new teams each week, so that'll be fun. Alright, so we've got Groudon, our Behemoth. So we did pretty decent this week. Obviously, I think there was only 2 fairy types in the entire tier. So a lot of you guys had to go outside of the Ubers tier. I went outside of the Ubers tier too. Obviously, Glinda's not Ubers. Venusaur is not Ubers. I don't think Volcarona is Ubers. I think Solgaleo is. So Groudon, Solgaleo, and Cinderace. Half my team is Ubers and half my team is not. But yeah, I kind of had fun with the Sun Team Groudon coming up, getting the sun set up repeatedly and things like that. But yeah, thank you so much, Acolyte Scan. I greatly appreciate it. Let's move into the next battle, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty, guys, up against Acolyte Shunosaurus, and leading off with the Tapu Lele. I think this was the only Tapu Lele we saw this week. I don't know what tier Tapu Lele is, but it's so cute. I originally had a Magearna in the thumbnail because I think everybody had a Magearna on their team, and Magearna and Xerneas are the 2 Ubers fairy types, I think. And so obviously lots of Magearna. I think Scad didn't even have a Xerneas on her team, so she didn't even use all the Uber ones. But from the team we just looked at, but obviously lots of Xerneas and lots of Magearna because they're just the 2 Uber options. And I'd originally done a Magearna, and then I was just looking at the thumbnail and I was like, this just isn't popping because Magearna's just kind of gray. So and then I battled Shun here towards the end of the week, and I was like, ooh, I think that's the only Tapu Lele in play this week, but it's nice. So got the thumbnail treatment. I generally, when I'm making the thumbnail, try to make either a notable, well, usually on a given week, it's a notable Pokemon from your guys' teams, because just obviously your guys' teams are the ones that change the most. I think the only times we've been doing Pokemon from my teams were the first several rival battles. I did my starter as Glinda as she evolved. So obviously Hatterene on the first, or Hatterene, Hatterum. I think Hatterene's the first stage, Hatenna, and Hatterum. Anyway, whatever. First stage, second stage, and third stage we did with subsequent rival battles, I think. But other than that, it's been notable Pokemon from your teams, and so, yeah, if a Pokemon shows up on, like, every team, that usually gets the pull. But yeah, Tapu Lele was just too cute for a Fairy Elite Four thumbnail? Absolutely. So, Aegis, the Zamazenta, we had a Zamazenta on our team last week, but yeah, doing good work there, finally take it down, but then Lola able to come in and huge power Aqua Jet us and take down Aslan at the end there. So thank you so much, Acolyte Shunosaurus. I greatly appreciate it. And we've got 2 more battles, so let's move right on into them. But thank you so much again. Here we go. Alrighty, guys, here we are up against Acolyte Klungar. Behemoth again leading off and getting the sun up, throwing the Heat Crash up, and finishing off the Slurpluff there. Slurpluff able to get the webs up. Orcrist not going to be, well, no, still fast enough. I did the switch. I was going to say, yeah, so still fast enough to get, even with the webs, to get that Sludge Bomb off on the Clefable there. It goes down. Dandelion then comes in and going to be able to fireball the Magearna there. Mustard Seed going to take the Gunk Shot pretty well. Dandelion's got, I think, Libero, which is basically Protean. Although I feel like Protean potentially changed the type after the move was used, so you weren't getting Stab when you use it the first time. I think Protean is kind of more defensive and then Libero is more offensive? Because Libero, I got the stab. It changes the type prior to the move being used. At least is my understanding. They're both hidden abilities on starters, which I obviously have never used in a playthrough or anything. So down goes Oberon, the Landorus, and then the Xerneas is going to come in. The Heat Crash is going to break the sub. Behemoth going to go down to the Moonblast there. Orchrist then going to come in, get the speed lower, but going to be able to get the Sludge Bomb off and finish off. Shiny Xerneas is kind of nice. It's not a huge change, but that white versus the black, that's nice. But yeah, so Klungar's beloved Venusaur takes him down there, and down goes Acolyte Klungar. So thank you so much for participating this week, Klungar. I greatly appreciate it. Let's move in to our Elite Four battle. This is our last battle of the week, so let's go check it out. Here we go. Alrighty, guys, and here we are up against Elite Four Espresso Cat, and ECAT leads off with Palkia, which we had a lot of, as I said, there was only 2 fairy types in the Ubers tier, so a lot of you guys went outside. We had genies, and we had crown dogs, and I mean, we had all kinds. You guys were all over the field with what you were choosing. ECAT, at least his was pink, so we'll allow it. But yeah, it wasn't really planning on Palkia. Orchrist gonna go down to the flamethrower there, using our own sun against us. Mothra taking a hard flamethrower, throwing one back. Water Dragon, so like quadruple resisted there. Not sure what I was doing. But down goes Mothra. Behemoth then going to take the Dragon Pulse, get the Iron Head up, and finish off the Palkia finally. Now we'll get into some fairy types here. Heat Crash quickly finishing off the Magearna. At which point then Pearl comes in. I switch into Aslan, immune to the Toxic. Didn't even know that was coming. I'm just great. Sabrina then going to go down to 1 Sunsteel Strike. And then the knockoff going to get rid of the Rocky Helmet off of the Azumarill. Waterfall not doing a whole lot in the sun here. The Sunsteel Spike going to do decent damage, but I think water resists steel, so not doing great. Switching out then, got the attack boosted Huge Power Marill. Not real excited about that. Glinda flinches and the sun goes down. That Play Rough, you know what? I'm guessing that this thing is not huge power. Although maybe it's just, its stats are pretty garbage, so maybe it is. That seems like it should have been doing more damage than that, even with all the things going on. Behemoth gonna go down. Got the sun back up though. Had the Heat Rock on Groudon, so the sun will be up for 8 turns, I think, or something, which is real nice. Aslan was also carrying Sunny Day and the Heat Rock in order to get sun set up again if necessary. Aslan up against the Xerneas, gonna hit it with another Sunsteel Spike. Not enough to finish off, unfortunately. And the Night Slash gonna finish off Aslan. Leading me, oh yeah, there we go. I was gonna say leading me, which is Glinda and Dandelion there, but it goes down to Life Orb damage, I believe is what was happening there. And so yeah, 2-0 there. We managed to eke out a victory up against ECAT. Who knows if that thing had lived and I'd had to go up against it with one of these other Pokemon, who knows if it would have made it. So yeah, thank you so much, ECAT. I greatly appreciate your participation, and congratulations on being our first Elite Four member of Gray Version Season 3. Let's move on over to the spreadsheet, shall we, and see what you guys will be up to the next time we battle. Here we go. Alrighty, guys, so I've been careful to say the next time we battle or next episode, because at this point in time, we are going to be done with battling for the year. So this is coming out on the 17th or 18th. I am on vacation from work for the remainder of the year, which means I won't really be at my desk very much, which means it's just not really going to be feasible for me to do team building and battling on demand and things like that. So for the holidays and everything, we will be taking a break. We're going to do a roll right now, and you guys will have 2.5 weeks or whatever to do whatever building you want to do. Battles will resume on Tuesday, January 4th, 2022. So if you're watching this after the fact, that doesn't really mean anything to you. You're not participating in battles anyway. But for those of you guys who are participating, battles will resume January 4th, 2022, which is a Tuesday. So a slightly truncated week, but most of you guys, I usually get 1 or 2 battles at the very beginning of the week, and then most of you guys are sliding in on like Thursdays anyway. So you've got 2.5 weeks to get your team building done. You got plenty of time to do that, hopefully. Obviously, you guys may all be busy during break as well, but still, get your teams built. Now, let's roll for what you guys need to do. But again, these battles will not be starting until Tuesday, January 4th. So, just as so that is clear. So, obviously, we're doing the second Elite Four member. Might have been nice to take a break here, Victory Road, and then take off for the year, but it is what it is. Second Elite Four member, we have to roll 3 through 17. So let's do that. 3 through 17 and 16. It's a Dark type. Okay. ECAT will like that. ECAT's a big proponent of the Dark type. So there we go. We've got a Dark type Elite Four member. Ubers. And we got to do singles or doubles. So let's check that out. And doubles. Okay, so we've got double Dark type Elite Four Ubers. Covering all our bases there. Ubers, doubles, Dark types. Double the trouble once again. So that's what we'll be doing for next time. Just as a reminder, we are in the Elite Four, but the community has decided that because it is a mechanic in Gen 8, I can build new teams. So while it might be the Elite Four, just remember, you're not building towards... you're building just like it's any other gym. So build your ideal Dark type doubles team. Don't build towards the Sun team I was running this week, because maybe some familiar faces cropping back up. We just rolled it. I've got no idea what I'm going to be doing yet. So, but don't plan on seeing that team in its entirety properly again. Although I brought the Trick Room team back once or twice, so who knows. But anyway, guys, I've been Tortimer the Great, and you guys have been great. Make sure to do those likes, comments, subscriptions for me, guys, and I will see you all back here on January 4th for battles. Episode, obviously, for that week coming out later in the week, or early the following week, depending on how the release schedule goes. But yeah, hope you guys all have a great, happy, and healthy, and safe holiday. Obviously, there's lots of illness, variants, and everything popping up again, so just be safe. But obviously enjoy yourselves at the same time. So I'll be hanging out in the Discord. Obviously, I've got that on my phone, so even if I'm not at my desk, I'll be around in the Discord. So if you guys are hanging out over the break, I'll see you there. But otherwise, I've been Tortimer the Great, and you guys have been great. Have a good one.